In this video, we will be looking at amazing traps in the Stafford Gambit, and there is 80% chances your opponent will fall for these traps, and these traps also works against higher rated player. So let's move on to our first trap. Here, after you take, white goes e5 attacking your knight. You jump forward with your knight, white attacks further, and here you are not going to save your knight. Instead, you will sacrifice it by playing bishop to c5. And if here white captures your knight, then you are going to play this amazing move bishop takes f2. He cannot take because his queen will be hanging, therefore king e2. But then bishop to g4 check forces him to take, and you just win the queen in just 9 moves and you are completely winning. Even if here white plays bishop to e3, then you can first exchange these bishops, and after white takes, you play queen to h4 check. He cannot go king to e2 because queen to f2 will be a checkmate. Therefore, he plays pawn to g3. Now you can safely capture this pawn with your knight, and after white takes, you will be up an exchange and completely winning in just 10 moves. Let's move on to our second trap. Here white goes d3, defending this e4 pawn. You go bishop to c5, targeting f2. And here, more than 300,000 players have played bishop to g5, pinning your knight to the queen. But you are gonna shock your opponent with knight takes e4. Here, if your opponent takes your knight, then don't capture the bishop. Instead, play bishop takes f2. He cannot take because his queen will be hanging, so king e2. But then bishop to g4 check forces the king to take, and you just win the queen and you are completely winning. Here, if white takes your queen, then you are going to play bishop takes f2. King e2 is the only move, and then bishop to g4 is a checkmate. Finally, if white plays the best move bishop to e3, then first you are going to exchange the bishops. Then you are going to play queen to h4 check. He cannot play king to e2 because queen f2 will be a checkmate. Therefore, he plays g3. Now you are going to capture this pawn with your knight. And after white takes, you are going to capture this rook, and you are up an exchange and you are at a huge advantage. Let's move on to our next trap. What if white tries to develop naturally? Knight c3, you go bishop to c5, bishop c4, preparing to castle. Now you will play knight to g4, he castles, and now you are going to play this amazing move queen to h4. Here 90% players go h3, kicking your knight. But this is a big blunder. You are going to play knight takes f2. He cannot take with the rook because he will be up an exchange after queen takes. Therefore, he will play queen to f3. But you are going to play knight takes s3, which is a double check. So king h1 is forced, then knight to f2 double check, king g1 is forced, and then queen to h1 is a checkmate in just 10 moves. Let's move on to our next trap. Here, after you take, white defends. You go bishop to c5. He goes bishop to e2, preparing to castle. And here you play this sneaky move, h4. White castles. Now you continue with knight g4. Here, s3 is the most common move, trying to kick your knight. And here you are going to play this stunning move, queen to d6. He cannot play f4 because this pawn is pinned to the king by the bishop. Therefore, he is forced to capture this knight. After that, you recapture this with your pawn, and after white goes g3, You are going to play queen takes g3, which is a checkmate because the f pawn is pinned to the king and you win in just 10 moves. Let's move on to our last trap. This trap works best for the beginners players and players who are below 1600 elo. After d3, defending this pawn, you go bishop to c5. They play h3, preventing your knight from coming forward. Here you are going to sacrifice your bishop. King takes, and then knight takes e4. He cannot take because his queen will hang. Therefore, king moves, and here you are going to short castle. King takes, and then you are going to play queen to h4 check. And here, if white plays king to e5, then rook to e8 is a checkmate. Therefore, he goes king to e3. You go rook to e8 check, king d2, and then you go with this tricky move, bishop to g4, hitting the queen. And if white is not careful and takes this, then you are going to play this stunning move, queen to e1, which is a checkmate. And even if here white goes h takes on g4, then don't capture the rook because you will be down in material. Instead, you can draw this game by playing queen g5 check, king c3, queen c5 check, king d2, queen e3 check, and this game is a draw by repetition. No matter what white does, either you will end up winning or drawing this game. This was not the end. Check out this playlist for more amazing traps like these and this right video for Pragnananda's amazing gameplay against an IM. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like these.